I was only 14 when my mother died, and that's when my life turned into a living nightmare. My stepmother didn't just mistreat me, she made it her mission to destroy me. One night, she grabbed the clippers, shaved my head bald, and smashed a heavy wooden brush into my scalp. I staggered and hit the floor, dizzy and shaking. I was struggling to get up, when what she did next was even more terrifying and almost unbelievable. My name is Ava Brooks. As I pass by the tall glass windows of my salon, I catch a glimpse of my reflection, and for a moment I pause. A small, calm smile appears on my lips. It still feels strange sometimes, seeing myself like this. 11 years ago, I used to avoid mirrors. I hated looking at myself. Now, I own Velvet Crown, the most exclusive hair salon in the city of Brookhaven. Who would have believed it? Inside, the salon is alive with energy, laughter, the low hum of blow dryers, the scent of fresh coffee and luxury hair products. It all fills the space. My best friend and business partner, Sophie Reyes, walks by with an armful of high-end styling sprays and tools. She gives me a familiar look, half amusement, half support. The kind of look only someone who's seen your worst can give you. Sophie and I have been together since high school, and no one understands better what this success really means to me. We've got 6 bridesmaids, the mother of the bride, and of course, the bride herself. I say with a smirk, glancing at today's schedule. Easy, Sophie laughs, tucking a brush behind her ear. But as I move to push a strand of hair behind my ear, my fingers pause halfway. I still do that sometimes. A small habit I never outgrew. My hair now flows in soft, healthy waves down to my back. Thick, strong, and free. So different from the rough, uneven cuts I was forced to wear as a girl. Sophie notices and lowers her voice, her tone gentle. Remember when Cheryl used to drag you to that awful discount salon every few months? The memory slams into me like a door in the wind. My stepmother, Cheryl, standing behind me in that cold, fluorescent-lit room, pretending to care. Ava's hair just grows so fast, Richard, she'd say sweetly to my father. We need to keep it neat for school. You know how wild it gets. And my father, logical, distracted, would nod in agreement, never questioning why his daughter always came home looking like she'd been attacked by hedge clippers. While at home, Cheryl's daughters, Erica and Haley, brushed their long, glossy hair like princesses. Their smug smiles waited for me the moment I stepped inside. Those weren't haircuts. They were punishments. I exhale sharply and straighten a row of scissors on the counter, pressing them down harder than I need to. For years, every time someone complimented my hair, or a boy at school happened to notice me instead of Cheryl's precious daughters, she made sure to remind me exactly where I stood. Snip, snip, snip. Chop, chop, chop. It was never just about hair. It was about control. Sophie leans against the counter beside me, watching me carefully. She had been the one who found me crying in the bathroom after nearly every one of those forced salon visits. Your dad never realized, she says quietly, because Cheryl always waited until he was away on business trips. I nod, my throat tightening. Of course she did. But that was then. This is now. Now I create beauty instead of having it taken from me. Now I help women feel powerful instead of powerless. Now I own the very thing she used to use against me. No stepmother. No cruel sibling. No past pain will ever control me again. I lift my chin, look at Sophie, and smile. All right, I say. Let's get this wedding party ready. Sophie grins back, but I can still see the concern in her eyes. I know she's remembering it too. Those days when I couldn't even walk past a mirror without flinching. And then, without meaning to, the worst memory of all rises to the surface. A night I've tried so hard to forget. I was 14. My father had flown out on another business trip, just like always, and Cheryl was left in charge. That night, I came home smiling. A boy in my class had asked me to the spring dance. It was the first time anyone had ever looked at me like that, like I mattered. Like I was beautiful. Cheryl must have overheard our phone call. She didn't say a word during dinner.
just watched me.
Her smile too still. Her eyes too calm. I should have known something was coming. But nothing could have prepared me for what happened that night. I was getting ready for bed when my door slammed open. Cheryl stood there in the hallway, holding electric clippers in one hand and a thick wooden hairbrush in the other. "You think you're special now," she said, her voice low and icy. "You think that little boy sees something in you?" My heart stopped. I backed away, but she lunged forward, grabbing me by the wrist and yanking me down the hall toward the bathroom.
No.
"Please," I cried. "Don't, Cheryl, please." But she was stronger than me. Meaner. She shoved me onto the closed toilet lid and flicked on the clippers. The buzzing filled my ears, louder than my screams. And just like that, she shaved my entire head bald. There was no warning, no explanation. Just cold, cruel hands and buzzing clippers against my scalp. Tears rolled down my cheeks as I watched clumps of my hair fall to the tile floor. I didn't even recognize myself in the mirror. I looked like a stranger, like nothing. When I tried to stand, trembling and dizzy, she raised the wooden hairbrush and slammed it down on top of my head. The pain exploded like fire through my skull. "Now," she whispered, her voice slow and poisonous, "you'll remember who you really are." She left me there, curled up on the cold bathroom floor, bald, bruised, and broken. I didn't go to the dance. I didn't go anywhere for weeks. The memory fades, but the ache it leaves behind lingers like a bruise beneath my skin. I blink, steady my breathing, and straighten my posture. That girl, the one sobbing on the bathroom floor, humiliated and afraid, is still part of me. But she no longer defines me. I look at my reflection again, just for a second. My hair now flows in rich, golden waves past my shoulders, exactly the way I choose to wear it. There's no buzzing clipper in sight. No cruelty. Only freedom. In the mirror, I no longer see fear. I see a woman who rebuilt herself from nothing. The soft chime of the front door pulls me back to the moment. I turn toward the entrance, my professional smile slipping automatically into place. Years of practice make it feel effortless now. Sophie joins me behind the front desk and checks the appointment list. "Wedding party's here early," she murmurs with a chuckle. "You ready?" "Always," I reply, reaching for my favorite scissors. But then I freeze. My fingers tighten involuntarily around the metal handles. Walking through the salon doors, dressed in pastel designer outfits and wearing expressions full of entitlement, are the very last people I ever expected to see again. Cheryl, Erica, Haley. It's been 8 years since I walked out of their house and never looked back. And they haven't changed a bit. Same smug posture. Same smug faces. Only now they don't recognize me. Not yet. Cheryl's voice slices through the air like a knife wrapped in sugar. "We need your best stylist," she announces, strolling in like she owns the place. "My daughter Haley is getting married, and everything has to be perfect." That voice, it used to make my stomach twist. It used to make my knees go weak with fear.
But now?
Now it barely stirs me. I keep my expression smooth and polite, though I feel Sophie's eyes flick toward me in surprise. She doesn't say anything, just gives me the smallest nod, as if to ask, "You okay?" I nod back. "I'm more than okay. I'm ready." Sophie turns to them with a bright, professional smile. "Of course," she says. "You're in luck. Our top stylist is available right now. She handles all of our VIP clients." Cheryl lifts her chin with the same haughty air she always carried. "Good," she says, scanning the salon lazily. "I expect only the best." Sophie gestures to me. "Let me introduce you to Ava Brooks." The moment my name leaves her mouth, I watch it hit them like a cold splash of water. Cheryl's smile falters, just a flicker. Erica lowers her magazine. Haley stops adjusting her engagement ring. Their eyes snap to me, and I watch the recognition dawn. Slowly, uncomfortably, I smile sweetly and step forward, scissors still in hand. "Oh, don't worry," I say, my voice calm and steady. "I'll make sure Haley looks absolutely perfect." I take my time walking over, watching Haley admire herself in the mirror, tilting her head just enough so her ring catches the light. Erica, lounging nearby, flips through a magazine without interest, her legs crossed like she owns the room. They still live in their little bubble, untouchable, above everyone else. Did you see Ava's name in the paper? Erica mutters to Haley, just loud enough to be heard. She runs some little salon across town or something. Haley smirks, not taking her eyes off her reflection. She always thought too highly of herself. Cheryl chuckles behind them, adjusting the strap of her designer bag. Your father always said beauty isn't everything, she says in her syrupy voice. Those haircuts were for her own good, to teach her a little humility. My hands tighten around my scissors. Humility? Is that what she called it every time I started to feel a little confident? Every time a school dance made me smile too wide? Every time someone saw value in me that she couldn't control? Sophie catches my eye from across the room, one brow raised, clearly enjoying the show. I set the scissors down gently on the desk and straighten the appointment book with precise care. Your stylist will be with you shortly, I say smoothly, keeping my voice pleasant. Their conversation dies instantly. Haley's jaw stiffens. Cheryl blinks. It's been a while, hasn't it? I continue, locking eyes with Cheryl. She swallows hard. This is your salon? I smile. Welcome to Velvet Crown, the most exclusive salon in Brookhaven. Across the room, Sophie leans against the counter, arms folded, lips twitching with restrained amusement. She knows exactly what's coming. Sophie, I say calmly, would you mind grabbing my special book? The one with all the before and after photos. She disappears into the back room without a word. But we both know what she's really getting. A few moments later, she returns and places the thick, worn album in my hands. Not a lookbook. My old photo album. I flip it open slowly, page by page, careful not to rush. The pages are filled with faded photos of a younger me, each picture stamped with dates, each one showing a brutal haircut more humiliating than the last. Each one paired with a note in Cheryl's handwriting. Cut as short as possible. No layers. She needs to learn. I tilt the book toward them so they can see. You know what's interesting? I muse, not bothering to hide the edge in my voice. Every single one of these haircuts happened right before something important. A school dance. A competition. A family event. Strange, right? I look up. Cheryl's face has gone pale. Her hand tightens on her purse strap. Erica and Haley shift uncomfortably in their seats. Such a coincidence. I add softly, flipping to a page where I'm crying in a school bathroom, Sophie's arm barely visible beside me, offering comfort. Cheryl opens her mouth like she wants to defend herself, but nothing comes out. I tap my fingers against the counter thoughtfully. Dad's been asking why I don't come to family dinners anymore. The silence deepens. Maybe it's time he saw these coincidences too. Cheryl's eyes widen in panic. She leans forward slightly, her voice low and sharp. You wouldn't dare. I smile. Oh, Cheryl, I say sweetly, slipping the album back under the counter. You have no idea what I'm capable of now. For a long, tense moment, no one moves. The confidence that Cheryl walked in with has crumbled into something thin and hollow. She tries to hold onto her composure, but it's slipping through her fingers like sand. Erica's arms are crossed now, eyes darting toward the exit. Haley looks as if the air has been sucked out of her lungs. We should go, Haley mutters, her voice barely above a whisper. Erica doesn't argue. Even she, always the mouthiest, knows when they've been beaten. Cheryl, however, lingers for a second longer, her face frozen in that fake smile she's practiced for decades. But her eyes, those sharp, calculating eyes, are filled with fear. She doesn't say a word as she turns and follows her daughters out the door. The front bell chimes behind them as the glass door swings shut. Sophie exhales and glances at me. Well, that was satisfying. I don't respond immediately. Instead, I stare at the spot where Cheryl had been standing, feeling the adrenaline still buzzing through my fingertips. I'm not done, I say quietly. Sophie raises a brow. What do you mean? I turn and walk toward the back office. She spent her whole life pretending to be someone she's not.
Lying.
Controlling. Smiling while she destroyed people. I open a drawer and pull out a dusty, old box I've kept tucked away for years. Inside, my backup flash drive. The one with everything. Every scan of her notes. Every photo. And most importantly, a copy of the video I found in my dad's camera bag last month. The one that proves everything. She still plays the victim, I say. Still hosts fundraisers, still talks about protecting youth, still acts like she's some loving mother. Sophie's eyes narrow with understanding. You're going to expose her. I nod. Not just to my dad. To everyone. The annual Brookhaven Youth Foundation Gala is only a week away. It's the kind of event where every handshake matters, where every dress is designer, and every smile is rehearsed. Cheryl's favorite kind of stage. I arrive early, helping with setup under the pretense of volunteering. No one questions me. After all, my name is on the sponsor list this year. Velvet Crown donated free styling packages for underprivileged teens, an initiative I quietly created in Cheryl's honor. She has no idea. That night, as I help arrange the final seating cards, I glance at the large projection screen behind the stage. Perfect. Just as I planned. At home, I go through the video one last time, the one from my dad's old camera bag. It's Christmas morning. I'm 16. My hair is brutally chopped short, shaved close at the sides with uneven chunks near the back. I'm standing awkwardly in the family room, trying not to cry. Show everyone your new haircut, Ava. Cheryl's voice chirps from behind the camera. I hesitate. She picked it herself, didn't you, dear? The camera pans just enough to catch Erica and Haley snickering. Mom said shorter hair would make her nose look bigger in the pictures. Mom didn't want her looking better than us. I press pause, my fingers curled tightly around the remote. This wasn't just bullying. This was documented abuse. And it's time the world sees it. The grand ballroom is glowing with chandeliers, polished glassware, and the hum of elite conversation. Waiters in black carry trays of champagne. Everyone is dressed in their best, including Cheryl. She glides to the podium in a satin emerald gown, her hair perfectly styled, her voice as smooth as silk. Tonight, she says, we come together to support the vulnerable, the forgotten, the children who need our protection the most. I stand quietly near the back, dressed in sleek black, unnoticed for now. As Cheryl continues her carefully written speech, I signal the AV technician in the corner. He nods and clicks the button we'd agreed on. The projector screen behind her flickers. Cheryl doesn't notice right away, but the audience does. At first, it's just photos. A girl with a brutally chopped haircut, face blotchy from tears. Then more, each one worse than the last. Date stamped. Labeled. Some show her in school uniforms, others before competitions or holidays. There's no denying the pattern. The crowd begins to whisper. Then the audio begins. Cheryl's own voice, from the old video footage, plays loud and clear. She picked it herself, didn't you, dear? Mom said shorter hair would make her nose look bigger. Mom didn't want her looking better than us. Cheryl freezes mid-sentence. The screen behind her shows the moment she slammed the hairbrush against my shaved head. The lighting, the angle, the panic on my teenage face. A collective gasp echoes through the room. My father stands up slowly from the crowd, eyes locked on the screen, his mouth parted in shock. I step forward, taking a deep breath as I face the crowd. My name is Ava Brooks, I say clearly, and I was that girl. All eyes are on me now. For years, Cheryl Lawrence used her position in our family and in this community to tear down a child who didn't fit into her perfect mold. She called it discipline. She called it humility. But it was abuse.
Gasps.
Murmurs. A few people look at Cheryl, stunned. Others begin pulling out their phones. Tonight, we talk about protecting children. That includes the ones already living in our own homes. My voice doesn't shake. I believe emotional and physical abuse should never be ignored, especially when it's masked as parenting. Then, without looking at Cheryl, I turn toward the crowd and walk down the steps of the stage. Behind me, the screen goes black. Cheryl doesn't speak. She can't, because the world just saw who she truly is. The silence after my speech is thicker than the air before a storm. No one claps. No one speaks. They just watch, processing everything they saw, everything they heard. My father is the first to move. He steps away from his table and walks toward me slowly, his face pale, his eyes hollow.
For a long moment he says nothing.
Then, in a voice cracked with disbelief, he whispers, "I didn't know. Ava, I swear to you, I didn't know." I meet his gaze. "But you should have," I say quietly. "You were my father." He nods, guilt radiating from every inch of him. He doesn't try to defend himself. Doesn't blame me. He just stands there, broken. "I want to make it right," he says. "Please." I nod once, then start by telling the truth. Behind us, Cheryl is still standing on stage, frozen, her hands gripping the podium like it's the only thing holding her up.
But then someone from the crowd stands.
It's Judge Monroe, one of the city's most respected legal figures and a longtime donor to the Youth Foundation. She looks directly at Cheryl. "I believe we need to open an investigation," she says firmly. "Physical assault of a minor, emotional abuse, and falsifying charitable integrity. None of this can be ignored." Cheryl's head jerks up. "That was years ago. It's her word against." "No, it's not." I cut in calmly. "There are photos, videos, witnesses, medical records. You left bruises, remember?" Gasps ripple through the room again. Then 2 uniformed officers enter the room. Quietly, professionally. I had filed the report 3 days ago, submitted all the evidence. They were waiting just in case. Officer Harris approaches the stage. "Cheryl Lawrence," he says, "you are under investigation for child abuse and assault of a minor. You will need to come with us for questioning." Cheryl stumbles back, her face crumbling as her mask finally falls apart.
"No."
"No, this is a mistake," she pleads, but no one comes to her aid. Not Erica. Not Haley. Not even my father. The officers guide her toward the exit, her heels clicking uselessly across the floor. As the doors shut behind her, the room finally breathes again. And I finally feel free. The next few weeks move quickly. Cheryl's face appears in the local news, this time not for hosting charity galas, but for being formally charged with assault of a minor, emotional abuse, and obstruction of evidence. The court finds the video evidence and Ava's documented injuries, including a doctor's report from the night she was struck on the head, to be enough for prosecution. She's sentenced to 3 years in prison and stripped of all charity affiliations. No more galas. No more headlines. No more power. Erica and Haley disappear from social media, their wedding plans unraveling quietly. Invitations are withdrawn. Public support vanishes. And no one wants to be associated with the Lawrence name anymore. As for me, I'm finally breathing. My father visits the salon every Friday now. He brings lunch and sometimes a bouquet of flowers. He doesn't try to fix everything all at once, and I don't pretend to forget. But slowly, we're building something honest between us. One afternoon, he sits in the corner while I style a young girl's hair, soft curls for her middle school recital. "You're really good at this," he says gently. I glance up, brushing a strand of hair from the girl's cheek. "It's more than just hair," I say. "It's about giving people a piece of themselves back."
He nods.
"I see that now." Sophie jokes that we should add revenge makeovers to the service menu, but we both know that's not what this was. It wasn't revenge. It was justice. It's a quiet morning when I find myself alone in the salon, sipping my coffee, sunlight pouring through the windows. The walls are painted soft gold now, warm and welcoming, a far cry from the cold, gray silence I once lived in. I glance at the mirror. My hair flows past my shoulders, thick and healthy. But what I really see is the girl I used to be and the woman I chose to become. Every client who walks through these doors leaves a little taller, a little stronger. That's not just business. That's healing.
For them. For me.
I did send Cheryl one last message. A gift card. for a free haircut at Velvet Crown. She hasn't used it. Some people say I went too far, publicly exposing her like that, destroying her reputation, letting her daughters face the fallout. And maybe it was harsh. But here's what I know. I gave Cheryl every chance to change. I stayed silent for years, hoping things would get better. And in the end, she never regretted what she did. She only regretted getting caught. As for Erica and Haley, they were teenagers when it started. But by the time they were adults, they chose to laugh. They chose to stay quiet. They were old enough to know. Now they're living with the consequences, not because I punished them, but because the truth has weight. It always finds its way to the surface. So, was I cruel?
No.
I was honest. And honesty isn't always comfortable, but it's necessary. If this story sounds familiar to you, if you've ever been made to feel small, invisible, or unwanted, just know this. You don't have to stay silent, because sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's telling your story and finally being heard. Thank you for listening to my story. If anything I shared today reminded you of your own experiences or made you feel seen, I hope you'll take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments below. I read them, and I care. If my story meant something to you, please like this video. And if you want to hear more real stories like mine, stories about truth, healing, and finding strength, don't forget to subscribe. Your support means everything. It's what keeps these voices alive.